I was listening to Home Life by John Mayer. Now, if you don't know anything about me, is that I am, sadly, this is derogatory, a John Mayer stan. Hi, it is currently 1:57 p.m. I have now the first act fully mapped out and I'm working through the second act of the show. Now, I did want to take some time to talk to you, but I overestimated again. So my friend Michael is going to come hang out with me today. If you haven't seen the TikTok vlogs, Michael is my best friend. We were born on the same day. We've known each other since high school. Anyway, he is the first person who I actually shared my musical with, my outline with. He gave me feedback as one of my alpha readers, and we're just going to hang out today. I can hear him at my door, and I was going to talk to you about what we did, but I guess I'm going to talk to you later tonight. That's him. I will see y'all in a second, or in a bit. I don't know. Bye. Morning. It is currently 6:33 a.m. on Wednesday, March 30th. End of play literally is this Friday. I have lessons with John on Friday, and I have done a lot. Like, actually a lot. I might have written a song for the show. Kind of crazy. So let's talk about it. First, I'm gonna clean my glasses though. Last time I saw you, I was with Michael, and my milk expired on my coffee. The milk is a representation of my emotional state rather than the coffee shop. But last thing we saw, I was with Michael. We had a really long talk. We just caught up as friends do. I haven't seen him in a couple of months, and we've just been obviously both going through a lot in terms of like our life. I've known Michael since we were like 14 or 13, but we didn't really become like best friends. We've been, I think, best friends for like over a decade now. So it's really cool to have such a long-term friend that you can like share so much with. After talking about everything, we just stayed up and talked about the show, and he really made me question things that I hadn't really given much thought to, particularly the business aspect and why I'm doing a double-pronged effect. I'm doing a double-pronged effect of having Nick and Megan because I think it makes for an interesting kind of dramatic device. But, you know, he was a business major, so he's listening through and being like, I don't know how this plan makes sense in the business sense. And I think there is this thing that like, it didn't need to make sense to me business-wise. I'm writing a musical, I'm writing a rom-com, but I think it's good to have someone question your motive. I think there are a lot of changes that I made in regards to the story when talking with Michael that I wouldn't have made on my own without that kind of feedback. I think the first one is, instead of the life insurance policy, I love the idea, and this is so cruel, that Tomas died of a labor accident, and that being the reason that they got it together. As the musical gets more and more focused, and with 2 days before the end, there is this sort of feeling like I'm laser focusing on each individual plot point. I don't know exactly how it's going to end, if that makes sense. That's what I'm going to work on today. But there is this big feeling of understanding my characters. So that was my time with Michael. It was wonderful. Second thing, I was listening to Home Life by John Mayer. Now, if you don't know anything about me, is that I am, sadly. This is derogatory. A John Mayer stan. I feel like he has written some of the most important songs of my life. And I also know he's kind of an asshole. I hope one day John Mayer, I know he'll never do this, but he'll want a musical. And I have given it a lot of thought as someone who intimately knows like every song on his catalog. That's the tea kettle. Do you want to see me make some coffee? It's been a while. Let's go make some coffee. Okay, now back to John. If John Mayer were ever to do the thing, in my mind, you know, do a jukebox musical, which, you know, all major artists tend to do at a certain point in their life, I would love to be the person to write the book for this. It's like a project I've given a lot of thought in my life. I particularly like heavier things. I know it's a non-serious album for him, but too bad. It's serious to me. In my opinion, the song that I think would be the I Want song for the male character is Home Life, which is from this record from 2003. But it's also the perfect I Want song in terms of the structure that I want to follow for my own I Want song for Alejandra. So I will put up the lyrics up here and I will kind of take you through a lyric analysis of what I think this song could potentially be used in a dramatic sense, which is different than I think, right, like the actual context of the song in the album. But bear with me. There's this long intro, and then it's like almost like he waits a breath. I think I'm gonna stay home. So to me, that means there was a question asked, right? Again, thinking about the dialogue of the dramatic influence of how I would tackle it in my show. The music of the intro of this song serves to underscore the dialogue being spoken. So why does he think he's gonna stay home? Who is asking him? Think I'm gonna stay home, have myself a home life. My favorite line, and I think it's what really made it click for me in terms of Alejandra's story, is like, I was born a house cat by the sleight of my mother's hand. There's this feeling of I think, and him saying, I am not a nomad, I am not a rocket man. So then in the pre-chorus, there's a drop. The drums come in, bum, boom. I want to live in the center of a circle. I want to live on the side of a square. It's the drop and the change from I think I want this. This is what I was born to do. I was raised to be a house cat. To the I want to live in the center of a circle. I want to live on the side of a square. Obviously, in the context of the song, he's like, I want this suburban life. I want this life that isn't easily digestible and consumable, and I don't want the radio waves and the airplay. I want something real and tangible. Okay, I think it's a perfect structure for the I Want song because I have the feeling of presenting Alejandra. So Megan asks Alejandra, why do you do this? She answers her with, I think I want this. I think I want this. And then there is that moment of clarity of the I want. And that is something revolutionary to me because like I had never, like that came to me in the shower while I listened to the song on loop. And I did listen to the song on loop. Verse 2, more examples, visual examples of it. I want to see the end game. I want to learn her last name. Finish on a Friday and sit on traffic on the highway. See, I refuse to believe that my life's going to be just some string of incompletes, never to lead me to anything remotely close to a home life. I think that's just a flip on the pre-chorus. There's the fear of like, I refuse to believe, and I love that that plays directly melodically to that, and that there are parallels and commentary on the previous one, because Alejandra doesn't really allow herself to want anything. And I think that's what makes her such a compelling character to write, because she's just like, I will give all of myself to meet my parents' expectations and to like show that I love them so much. And along the way, I lost myself. And then I love the bridge too. I can tell you this much, I will marry just once, and if it doesn't work out, give her half of my stuff, it's fine with me, we said eternity. So he's just like, I'm gonna give it my all and I'm gonna try my best to get this thing that I want, because then I'll have no regrets. And I love that flip. It's almost like taking control, but then going back to the same thing. I want to live in the center of a circle. And then the last pre-chorus is, I'd love to walk where we both can talk, but I've got to leave you because my ride is here. There is no control. Do I think John Mayer wrote this with a musical theater perspective or dramatic effect in mind? I don't think so. From a dramatic perspective, when I listen to the song, it's such a clear I Want song that is very nuanced and complex and really makes me want to apply that to my I Want song. I know y'all didn't really sign up for like a musical theater lesson, but this is how I genuinely break down other songs and structures to be able to mimic the structure in a way that I want. Brings me to another point. So yesterday after this, John was very much like, I want an I Want song by Friday. We're meeting on Fridays now. We are changing schedules. And I think it makes more sense because it gives me more time during the week to actually work on stuff. And then the weekend to kind of think about everything, because sometimes I feel like I'm rushing through it. But the reason I bring it up is I was going to work on my outline. And instead what came out of me, and I didn't control it, was a scene. Now I have referenced Waitress a lot, especially in my TikToks. I've never seen the show. I don't actually know it that well, but I love the opening song so much because it starts right before the bustle of everything. It kind of sets the tone for it. It lets us know what is important to the character very early on. And the scene came to me, and all of a sudden, Tomas, who was just dead in my show, has a voice in my head, and I started writing the intro song for the show. And so now I'm gonna, again, put a screenshot here. I have like lyrics and stuff that I wrote in my notes app because I wasn't connected to the internet where he was at. I think I'm reaching the point where I'm feeling comfortable writing songs again, which means that the outline is strong enough, which is the biggest success to me because I haven't been able to write a fucking song in months, and now I've started writing songs. So I wrote out the scene, and there's two little like Easter eggs in there. And I'm like, do I actually want to talk about this? Because I don't want people to be like, oh God, it's everything referential. But I do want to be open and honest about the process. So that means I am going to talk about it. So there's a song by Soda Stereo, who's one of my all-time favorite bands, called Te Para Tres. And it's been this inside joke in my family. And when Te Para Tres comes up, we always skip it because it's so sad. Te Para Tres. Now for my song, in my mind, like a round table, they're making coffee together, and it's about keeping the dream alive. So it's a little bit of a different vibe. But then the phrase that kept coming to me as a reference to Te Para Tres is Café Para Tres, because it's about drinking coffee together rather than tea. It automatically came to me when I wrote the lyrics, Un cafecito para los tres, which is the same melody from the Howl's Moving Castle. Now I know that that's bad. Clearly I'm not going to sample the melody there. But what I do like about it is the time signature. And the song is not going to be very long, but I'm going to have a new song for my show by the end of this week. And you're gonna see me do that. So yeah, I think that catches you up. I had a lot to say. A lot has happened that I feel is important, so I needed to say it all. And now I've literally been talking for 18 minutes, and I don't even know how. This is gonna be a nightmare to edit. But it's an exciting, a genuinely exciting week. And tomorrow is my last day for prepping for End of Play / Camp Nano. So I need to get on it. I need to get on it. So with that, I will see y'all, later today, hopefully. It is currently 12:28 on the 1st, but I am counting this entry as the last day of March, since that is when all of this happened. I was supposed to check in with you yesterday, but I didn't for multiple reasons. The first is this tweet, which then led to a couple of my friends, this is for you, Pidge, telling me that I was burning out on the show. I have a little bit of a mixed feelings about that. I don't think I'm burning out on the show, but I do think that I was pushing it a little bit hard yesterday. And I needed people to tell me to take a break, and I'm glad that I did. I've been coloring. I finished a coloring piece. Oh my god, am I going to show you? I have this weird thing that where I'm like edit, or when I'm just listening to like a YouTube video or something, I really like to color mandalas. Anyway, this is the one I've been working on for a couple of weeks. I just finished it, and I just started this one today. This genuinely brings me so much joy. But I did yesterday reach a really important conclusion that I think is a good end to March that I want to kind of reiterate here. The conclusion I reached was that I'm going to focus on only Act 1. So yesterday I did take the time to outline, and I finished outlining Act 1 in full. I genuinely think all the beats are there. It is now, I think, 9 to 10 scenes long. I added a couple of intro songs. I brought the mask back. You know, I am doing edit play, and I would love to work on the entirety of the show. I do think that I'm going to focus on writing Act 1, including, you know, reading over kind of whatever scenes I got, and also working on the song. Part of me is torn because I obviously want to push myself hard, and I want to finish the entirety of the show. But I love the idea that End of Play / Camp Nano can serve as me finalizing Act 1, which has been such a struggle for me, having that written down, having the songs, not start revising yet, and then taking May to do Act 2, and taking some genuine break. I feel very passionate about Café con Leche, and I obviously want to finish it as soon as I can. So not being able to finish it and being held back just simply by the reality that I need time between projects to just process it is something that I'm learning, as I've never really worked on a long-term project like this where I was the creator. I'm also realizing that I leave a lot of stuff in here because I genuinely see these vlogs as a bit of a diary entry, especially about the process and the progress of it. And it has been really hard recently. And, you know, after my little tweet yesterday and my friends reaching out and people being very nice to me, and it has been a really hard month, I'm starting to wonder if I should not include that. I was watching Katie's video today where she decided that, you know, she wrote this 109,000 word book, and she didn't vlog any of the process because, like, she was too busy writing, which I actually adore that for her, because wish that were me, because watching these videos is the only way that I remember what I did. But she also talked about how she was tired of sharing the struggle because it felt like she had been struggling for forever. And I have talked about this in vlogs before, and I'm realizing that part of why I vlog is so that I remember that, like, it's not all just like the highs of like having a printed manuscript. So it's really important for me, but I'm wondering if that's what's important for you guys to see, and if your perception of me is affected by my struggle. I don't know. Do you empathize with that? Is that something that you feel connected to, or is it just, you know, you're worried about me? You shouldn't be. I'm creating something, and creating is hard work, even if it is just all in your mind. So I want to know what your thoughts on that are. And yeah. And so with that, that is the end of this vlog. March is finally over. I'm further than I thought I would be in terms of like the solidity of this outline, but in a way I also feel like I'm further behind, even though I know that that's the kind of the irrational workaholic part. I'm hoping April is way nicer to me than March was, because March was rough. This is definitely rivaling my 22nd March. So yeah, here's to 28, and here's to first day of camp being tomorrow when I wake up. And so with that, I will see everyone next time with a vlog. And if you're watching these in order, then it'll be tomorrow with the next vlog. Adieu. Or would it be December?